My father was a she. I don't mean I'm the product of a same-sex marriage either, though technically I am. Let me be clear. A couple of years ago, as I was completing my sophomore year in high school, my father went through a transition in life. He, then she, changed gender. I was stunned and filled with self-doubt. How could my father, my manly father whose slick back hair made him look like someone straight out of The Godfather, be a woman? At first, I feared losing all the little things that made my relationship with my father so special. We loved playing soccer in the backyard and wrestling in the basement. We could talk for hours about anything, and we seemingly loved all of the same things. I thought our relationship would never be the same. It felt like I was losing my father, and I mourned. For months, I was lost in my thoughts. I went through the daily motions of life. I would wake up, go to school, blog, play soccer, do all the things that supposedly made me happy, but nothing did. I mean, Chipotle didn't even taste good anymore. I just couldn't find joy in life. Nothing seemed the same, and I longed for the good old days, but they seemed so distant. When school ended, I thought I needed to do something to put the memory of my father behind me. We started to drift apart, and I decided enough was enough. With the permission of my parents, I went on my first service trip with a group of volunteers to help a community in need in rural El Salvador. The name of the village was Zacamil Dos, and our job was to build them a water irrigation system which would give them running water. The town had 600 chickens and only 100 people. Hearing cock-a-doodle-doo every 5 seconds gets old pretty quick, but the people were amazing. Anyone who walked by you would say, "Buenos dias," good day, and it felt like home. The thing I was most lucky about on the trip, however, was staying with a wonderful woman named Dilcia and her young son, Ernesto. Ernesto was a flat-out happy little kid. He was missing both of his front teeth, but when he smiled, which was all the time, it was the cutest thing in the world. I could tell he looked up to me, and we got along famously in the village. He would follow me everywhere I went, and we were like two peas in a pod. As best as I could tell at first, Ernesto didn't have a father. After a few days, I built up the courage and asked Dilcia about Ernesto's father. As she wept, Dilcia told me right after Ernesto was born, his father traveled to America so he could make more money to support the family. Unfortunately, he went to America, but Dilcia never heard from him again. He was never coming back. The sight of Dilcia crying because she wished her son had a father who was there changed me forever. It dawned on me that day how lucky I was. My father never left. He loved and cared about me more than anything, and I was so lucky for that. You could see the love Dilcia and Ernesto share. We spent countless hours together doing all the same things I'd love to do with my father. I realized that Ernesto was just fine without a traditional male figure in his life, and I would be too. Our return to America changed. I would never let gender define me. After the trip, my father and I spent a lot more time together. Our love only deepened, and I came to admire the strength and courage it must have taken to transition late in life. My father traded back slick back Tony Soprano-like hair for beautiful long wavy red hair reminiscent of Dolly Parton. She was the most beautiful woman. Man or woman, my father was still my father, and I was the luckiest kid in the world to have her.